Hi everyone, and welcome back to my channel. My name is Patience. Today we are going to be making this beautiful and easy high-low top with a bell sleeve. So before we get started, kindly click the subscribe button. If you have done that, let's get into it. So I'll be using this fabric for this tutorial. This is 2 yards and this is 1.5 yards. So I've gone ahead to mark my shoulder line, and right on the shoulder line I'll mark half of my shoulder measurement, which is 8 inches, but I'll be adding ½ inch for ease, that is 8.5 inches, and I'll be adding ½ inch for sewing allowance, that is 9 inches. So on the 9 inches, I'll come down by 1 inch for my shoulder slant. So for the width of the neck, I'll be using 5 inches, and I'll slant the shoulder. After doing that, for the depth of the neck, I'll be using 3.5 inches, and I'll make a curve this way. Now I'll mark half of my armhole measurement, which is 8 inches. That is the chest line. So I'll bring down this 9 inches to the chest line, and I'll connect it this way. So I'll mark the midpoint of this line, and for the back armhole I'll go in by ½ inch, and for the front armhole I'll mark 3/4 inch. So I'll make a slant line this way, and I'll curve the front and the back armhole. So after doing that, I'll mark the full length, which is 32 inches, and I'll add 1 inch for hemming allowance, that's 33 inches. So I am not going to be marking my bust point, waist point, and the hip point, because this is like an A-line dress, so it is a free dress. So on the chest line, I am going to mark 1/4 of my bust circumference, which is 10.5 inches. So I'll be adding extra 1.5 inches, that is 12 inches, and I'll be adding ½ inch for side seam allowance. So on the hemline, what I have here is about 23 inches. So I'll be marking 23 inches, and I'll connect the points this way. So after doing that, I am going to reshape the armhole this way, and I'll add ½ inch on the shoulder for sewing allowance, and I'll cut it. So I'll cut the back armhole because I'll be using this as a pattern to cut out the back piece. So I'll be using this as a pattern to cut out the back piece. So to cut out the back piece, on the folded edge, I've gone ahead to mark ½ inch, as you can see. So it is like a zipper allowance, even though I'm not going to add a zip. So I'm just going to place the front piece this way and cut it out. So I'm going to join the ½ inch because of the design on the back. So after doing that, on the front piece I am going to cut out the front armhole, and to cut out the high of this dress I'm going to mark the length of the high. So starting from 3.5 inches on the neck, I am going to be using 22 inches for the length of the high, but I'll be marking 23 inches for, so I'll be adding 1 inch for hemming allowance. So after doing that, from the folded edge I am going to mark 12 inches on the hemline this way, and then I'll add 1 inch for sewing allowance, that's 13 inches. So I'll make a curve this way and I'll cut it out for the high. So this is how it is going to come out. So I've joined the 1/2 inch on the back piece, and now I will join the front and the back piece. So I'll place good sides this way and I will sew on the 1/2 inch for the shoulder, and I'll sew on the side seam. So I've done that. I've joined the shoulder and the side seam, and this is how it came out. So for the neckline, I've gone ahead to cut out a bias tape, and I used 1.5 inches. I marked the midpoint and folded both sides. So I'll pin it down this way, place good sides this way. I'll pin it down all through, and then I'll turn it over and sew from the wrong side. So I've done that, and this is how neat it came out, as you can see. So the next thing I'm going to do is to cut out the sleeve. So I have a detailed video on how to draft a basic sleeve, so I'll put the link on the description box below. The total length of the sleeve is going to be 25 inches. So I'll be using 14 inches here. So I added 1/2 inch that I'll use to join to the flare. That is 14.5 inches. So I marked 6 inches for my elbow circumference, and I added 1 inch for sewing allowance. So to cut out the flare on the sleeve, I'll be using this pattern paper to explain how to get the exact measurement. So I folded my pattern paper this way and fold it again. So I'll ensure this part is folded and this part is also folded. So my elbow circumference is 12 inches. So I'm going to divide this 12 inches by either 3.14, that is for half circle, or 6.28, that is for full circle. So I'll be using 6.28. That is 1.9. So I'm going to mark 1.9 all through this way, and I'll connect it. And I'm going to mark the length of the flare. And I'll connect it this way and cut it out. So I'm going to have the exact 12 inches for the elbow circumference. So right now I am going to cut it out on my fabric. So this is 28 inches by 32 inches. So I'm going to fold it this way and fold it again. So instead of using 1.9 inches, I'll be using 3 inches because I want excess on the flare that I'll pleat for the flare to come out really full. So I'll make sure this part is folded and this part is also folded, as you can see. So I'll mark the 3 inches, and then I'll mark the length of the flare, which is 11 inches. So I'll cut this out and I'll add 1/2 inch for hemming allowance. So I cut out 2 for both sleeves. So after doing that, I am going to sew on the side seam. I've done that, as you can see, and now I am going to attach the flare. So So I'll place good sides this way. As you can see, the flare is wider. So when I'm stitching, I am going to pleat it all through. So I'll pin it down and I'll sew by 1/2 inch. So this is how it is going to come out. I've done that and this is how it came out. Now I am going to attach it to the dress. So I'll align the front and the back armhole and sew by 1/2 inch. So guys, I've done that. I've attached the sleeve, as you can see, and this is how beautiful it came out. So now I am going to hem with the 1 inch for hemming allowance. So I've gone ahead to cut out the belt, and this is 5 inches. So I'll place good size this way and I'll sew by 1/2 inch. So to give the belt shape, I'll mark 2 or 3 inches and I'll make a curve to the edge this way. So if I'm joining, I'm going to leave about 2 or 3 inches that I will use to bring it inside out. So I have hemmed. As you can see, and I have also serged the hem of the flare. If this was helpful, kindly give this video a thumbs up and also click on the subscribe button, and don't forget to turn on the notification bell to be updated when I upload a new video. Thank you guys for watching. Bye.